New face, new place, David Jacoby. Welcome to the party. You guys know Izzy. I'm Domonique Foxworth, and at some point today, I would like everyone to screenshot their suggestion pages on Instagram and show them. I need it done. I need it done. The world needs to know
No
who you
chance.
really are.
That is the one.
Why don't
piece
we
of my
just
life
tell
I'm
you
most
we're
ashamed
disgusting
of.
first?
I'm most ashamed of that.
Why are you ashamed? What is it? What is it, Izzy, that you got on? It's just like
I don't want to talk about
like
lots of breaking
pyramid
basketball
schemes?
news. Lots of
Pyramid
breaking
schemes on
basketball
there? I
news.
feel like
Yeah, that's about it.
LLC Twitter is all a buzz. Jacoby, I already know what you got.
No, mine is just
Traps.
19th century literary suggestions, really quotes and things like that. That's really what mine is.
Yeah.
AKA traps. What's the first topic?
Poetry, sonnets.
Alabaster, what you got?
Good.
All right, our first trending topic is my daily plea for you guys to please tweet out the show link so that people watch it.
Did that already,
Me
dog.
too.
Did that already,
I saw
dog.
this one coming.
Yeah, obviously
Already
you're not following
done. What do you
me.
mean?
All right. Well, then moving on. Our first real trending topic. Are the Chiefs bad?
Oh,
Yes, move
man.
on.
All right, so yeah, it could be that easy. So I think the answer might be yes, but they also are still scary. So last night's game, they beat the Giants, who we all agree are bad, and the Chiefs barely beat them. They're down in the fourth quarter. Their defense actually showed up some. I guess since they were playing the Giants, you would say that maybe it's not a tough opponent, but the Chiefs were getting run through by all opponents. So they showed up a little bit. They got some turnovers on defense, but still they have the unlucky bouncing off helmets things, which if it keeps happening at a certain point, I guess you can't keep chalking it up to luck. Got the Travis Kelce fumble, Patrick Mahomes looking uncomfortable, and their just refusal to run the ball. So I don't know if I'm ready to say they're bad, but they damn sure ain't good. What do you think?
We were talking before the game about about Bing Bong and how it may be dying for the Knicks. I think the Chiefs should go ahead and take that over because I feel like every time Patrick Mahomes throws the ball just could be bouncing off anywhere and end up in a defender's hands. Like the first time I tuned into the game last night, the very first play I saw was a Patrick Mahomes interception, and then you had the one late where you had the offside, fortunately for him. But it feels like, when we were talking about Patrick Mahomes and how good he was and how good the Chiefs are and how they're going to be great for the next decade, it felt like it was because Patrick Mahomes was essentially untouchable. He could not lose. He could not be the reason you lose. And now you're looking out there and it's like, wow, it seems like even when he has all the time in the world, he doesn't seem to find an open guy a lot of the time. Whereas before, if he had 3 seconds, you're thinking he's probably going to get you a 50-yard, completion down the field or something like that. Now you're kind of wondering, is it going to be a turnover? Are they going to be able to find Tyreek Hill deep? And it doesn't seem like the answer is yes. So I feel like the fear of the Chiefs is pretty much gone. It's gone from opponents, even an opponent like the New York Giants.
Going into the game, you were like, man, they really need to control these turnovers. Watching the game, you're like, man, they really don't control these turnovers. Patrick Mahomes lost them the game in the fourth quarter by throwing an interception. However, there was like a neutral zone infraction by 2 inches. We all expect him to do these miraculous things, throw with his left hand, throw off his back foot, do a spin move, and then a sidestep, and then throw deep to Hill. He's not doing any of that, and whenever he throws off his back foot, it feels like it's a prayer that's likely to get intercepted. We all watched the Super Bowl. When we walked away from the Super Bowl, they said, Patrick Mahomes needs protection. They revamped the whole offensive line. I watched last night. First thought, Patrick Mahomes needs protection. It seems like he's running for his life all the time. He can't find Hill deep, can't find Kelce at all. And it seemed like it was like Gore, not Frank, and Williams and the running game, which really propelled them down the field more than Patrick Mahomes and Hill and Kelce.
Dom, I got a question for you, though. The one game where they seemed like they sort of just took what the defense gave them, the short passes, it felt like was that Eagles game, wasn't it? That's the kind of thing that they did. They were consistent with it throughout the game, couldn't be stopped. It feels like Patrick Mahomes just doesn't want to do that all the time, or can they not do that all the time? Because if they're taking away Tyreek Hill, they've got to give you the short stuff, no?
Yeah, they had a 56% success rate on running plays in the game yesterday, which I don't know if you follow success rate, but that was the best in the league for week 8. So they probably should have kept running the ball. But in Patrick's defense, the interception that you're calling out where he lost the game, he hard counted him there. He knew he had the ability to make a more aggressive throw. So I'm not blaming him for that. It wasn't pretty, but you're right. That's not something we're accustomed to seeing Patrick Mahomes do, but he still does the freaky sidearm pass. You saw when he was skipping rocks, he threw that little sidearm thing. Like, he still has that capability. It's outstanding, but also it feels like in the last 4 years, he just was lucky, kind of like he was never unlucky, I guess, with the exception of that offsides penalty that cost them a trip to the Super Bowl, but it wasn't on Patrick. But now it just feels like that luck has run out some, and they don't have an answer for it. And the answer to me seems to be the simplest football concept in the history of football that you don't need analytics for. You just need an old dude who hates numbers to say, pound the rock. Like, just run the ball. Just run the ball.
So it's a bad pass blocking offensive line, but decent enough to run the ball, and that's where they need to. And maybe that makes them a better pass blocking offensive line?
I mean, yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's a bad pass blocking offensive line when you have to pass block 50 times a game.
He fumbled the ball and Smith recovered it. Like, that would have been another huge disaster. Like, there were mistakes that weren't turnovers. You made a good point about the interception, the hard count, sort of free play. But he fumbled the ball with the game on the line, and Smith recovered it. And then remember that the last play, instead of just, he basically just like, you know what, I'm just going to go down. Like, I'm just going to go down, and we'll eat 40 seconds, we'll get this field goal. And Danny Jones didn't help himself with that final drive either.
I mean, it's because he feels like he has to do everything. Like Patrick Mahomes, like it used to be where those, the left-hand passes, the no-look passes were just kind of like a little like cherry on top of a great performance, right? It wasn't absolutely necessary. We probably won the game by 21 points, but here's a little something for the highlights. Now it feels like he has to do that stuff just to escape alive or just to get the ball out because they're not even blitzing him and they get a ton of pressure on him.
But let me ask you this question. If you are the Bengals, if you are the Bills, if you are the Ravens, if you are the Chargers, if you are any of the other teams in the AFC, you still don't want to see this team in the playoffs. Like, no matter what their record is, they can sneak in as the 7th seed. I still do not want to see this team in the playoffs.
If the playoffs were tomorrow, I want to see this team. Like, I don't know what they're going to look like, 8-10 weeks from now, but if the playoffs were tomorrow, 100%. Yeah, if I'm the Bills, I want to take them out early. Absolutely. Like, I don't know how many of these games you need to see, but they haven't been running away from anybody. Man, I hate that picture right now.
Forgot. I got distracted. I couldn't focus anymore. But I mean, they still have all the pieces, I think, is the scary part. They've never had a good defense. They had mediocre defense when they won the Super Bowl, and they still have all the scary pieces. I do think it's interesting that they're nearing, it feels like dynasties kind of run for a stretch of like 5 to 7 years tops, and they're coming to maybe that point, because if you're considering how good they were before Patrick Mahomes took over, like, it's a long time with a similar core, at least of talent guys on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm not sure what that means, but I know it means that if I'm an AFC opponent in the playoffs, I'm still scared of the Chiefs. Like, I don't know who I'd rather play than the Chiefs, but I'm still scared of them scoring 40 points, because it's not like this season they scored over 30 in all their games except for the last 2. Like, they aren't awful on offense, and at any moment they could go off for 45 points and you have to score 46 against their bad defense, which has a couple of good players and got a little better maybe with I'm trading for Melvin Ingram, the pass rusher who was most famous for his time with the Chargers and now was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't know. I think Jacoby asked an important and good question. Are we still afraid of them? And my answer is yes. Like, if I'm coaching a team, I'm a fan of a team. I can't believe. So, Izzy, I guess you're a Dolphins fan, so they're not going to the playoffs. Let's say hypothetically, if you are a Bills fan and you're going into the playoffs and you have the option of having the Ravens or the Chiefs, you'd rather play the Ravens. I mean, you'd rather play the Chiefs.
Tomorrow, I would rather play the Chiefs. Yes. I would rather play the Chiefs because I've seen games this year where Lamar Jackson has pulled a rabbit out of a hat and saved his team by himself. I think 2 of them. I have not seen that from Patrick Mahomes yet. Patrick Mahomes this year has not been that guy. And so if you're going to tell me which defense of those 2 I trust, Ravens just on reputation. On reputation, I trust the Ravens more. So, I got a couple questions for Jacoby here. First, when he introduced you as a new face, did you feel like yelling out, "I've done the show before"? You just weren't on it?
No, I just let him live his delusion. I just wanted to let him live his delusion.
Because, they only exist when Dom is here. You're right.
I know he doesn't follow me on Twitter or watch the show, so I was like, you know what? Let's just let him ride out. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean.
And then the other question is, we had that card up. Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe. We had that card up. It said the Chiefs are 25th in EPA. What's EPA?
Expected points added.
No, man, that was a Jacoby question. You gave him the answer. He didn't know. I could tell in his face he didn't know.
Absolutely no
he
idea.
Did know.
But all I know is I'm not.
I don't think
a screenshot of my suggestion.
I blame Mina for this. We're going way too fast at assuming people understand football stats. Like, I think we got to like a place in basketball stats where people are talking about, per and all this other stuff, and football was just like, sure, let's just throw all these letters out. And not everybody knows what this stuff means.
It's an efficiency measure, but that 25th out of 32 is bad. That's all you really need to know.
Yeah. But there's got to be people sitting on their phone like EPA, like, what are we talking about? Efficiency.
No, you gotta protect the environment. Do we have a Knicks question at any point today? Because I really need to have a conversation about Bing Bong. That's all I really want to talk about. If we're not talking about the Knicks later, Alabaster, do we have the Knicks in the show, or am I going to crowbar Bing Bong into the first time?
Crowbar Bing Bong in.
But
they can't stop us.
Add it whenever.
They're not going to cut our mics.
Oh, yeah. They can't. What are they going to do? Do the show without Bing Bong? Y'all don't get to have Bing Bong.
No.
Bing Bong belongs, it's exclusively to one of the finest movies ever, Inside Out. That's it. Jacoby was near tears before the show when we started talking about Bing Bong.
When Bing Bong died, I cried so hard. And when I watched it for a second time, I left the room because I didn't want my children to see me break down in that way. That is one of the most saddest images I've ever seen on film. It is the old Yeller of this generation. And I embrace the Bing Bong Knicks, but I want the Knicks fans to embrace Bing Bong. Because Bing Bong now is a sound. It's an idea. It's like an NFT. It doesn't exist. But if we can now get Bing Bong physically there, like we'll hold up signs of Bing Bong tattoos on Knicks bands. Like we really need Bing Bong to come to life, to be a mascot. The Knicks don't have a mascot running around Madison Square Garden. Guess what? Bing Bong, Disney, ESPN, MSG. Let's get a deal done. Yes, the Chiefs are bad.
Done. Next topic. I think you just solved the whole Bing Bong crisis. But isn't Bing Bong dead? How can we bring Bing Bong back if he's dead?
It's a cartoon, bro.
Bing Bong.
That wasn't a Disney movie. I don't think we can actually promote that thing.
It's Pixar, right?
Bro.
I mean,
it was. Oh, okay.
Doesn't Disney own everything in entertainment at this point?
Yeah, I should just assume that. Yeah,
it's not a Disney movie anymore. Like all movies, if you
can they make Bing Bong
record something, Disney owns it. I promise you.
Can they make Bing Bong, like reincarnate him and make him a Marvel hero somehow?
he's already a hero. All right.
Next topic. Should a team want to trade for Odell today?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm on this island almost alone, where I recognize that Odell Beckham is still really good at football, but they are not finding a way to get him the ball, whether it's the fault of Kevin Stefanski or it's the fault of one-armed Baker Mayfield. Like, the problem with this offense and this efficiency of this offense and the effectiveness of them to attack down the field, the problem isn't one of the most talented receivers that we've ever had. The problem is y'all can't figure out how to get him the ball. And when you watch them play, he's open a lot, like through the course of all of these games. So they have a run.
You don't actually have to watch him play. Just follow his dad's
Odell Beckham
Twitter
Sr.
account.
Odell Beckham Sr. noticed as well.
I heard you. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm happy that his dad is. You guys talked about it before the show. So what happened, Jacoby? His dad is coming after Baker?
His dad posted a screenshot on Instagram of an open Odell Beckham and him not getting the ball from Baker. And as we all know, we watch football, never in the history of the NFL has a wide receiver been open and not been found by a quarterback.
Never.
But it wasn't just that. It was the hashtags. Always a dad first, gonna ride for my son. When I read the hashtags, it just made me want to have a better relationship with my dad. It really did. I almost cried at that too.
So your dad,
I gotta ask you,
out here putting out compilation videos of Jaylen not laughing at your jokes? Like,
no, it's really like, yes, I'm sure he does believe that Jaylen is holding me back, and it's also an objective fact. But we can continue.
Dom, like, I want to ask the question, hey, after these few years and after a couple of injuries, has Odell slowed down some? But I think that's just unfair to Odell because it's just so obvious that this offense doesn't seem to fit him or that quarterback can't seem to find him. Because, like, I remember when Odell came into the league, and I was kind of shocked at his ability overall because I'd seen some LSU games as a Gator fan. I was like, okay, he's better pro than I thought he was going to be. And then he just ended up being spectacular. And I guess it was, like, speed and quickness along with those hands, like everything you need in a receiver except for, I guess, the big size. And it seemed like any quarterback should be able to find that guy, 20 yards streaking across the field, right? If you have any sort of time. And so I do think that everybody, including LeBron James, believes that if you put him in an offense with, a capable quarterback that can see downfield, that he will return to this guy again. But are there any question marks in your head if, they might have used him improperly in Cleveland, but his time in Cleveland also maybe zapped him a little bit of his ability?
I mean, he's getting older. He's had serious surgery, so maybe he's declined some, but you can't tell it by his route running. And I mean, he's always kind of had an issue with dropping passes. Has these outstanding catches, but it's never been a consistent pass catcher. So when I watch him play, he looks the same minus the stats that go with it. So maybe there's something different, but what I feel like is they discovered that he was special in New York, and they did not do anything that was particularly neat to get him open, but they just forced the ball to him. And give your best player the ball enough times, and he'll make something happen. Go ahead.
This isn't. He wasn't Tyreek Hill sprinting past people, double moves. They just gave him slants. They would run a 7-yard slant, and he would turn it into a 64-yard touchdown. It happened over and over and over again in New York. But I have a couple of questions for you guys. Should a team want to trade for Odell Beckham? Do you think the Browns are happy with the tenure that he has had there? Remember how it ended in New York with the fighting, the kicking net, and sort of the drama and sort of making him about himself. There is a little bit of injury and baggage and availability problems that comes with him. He is no longer the 5-yard slant, 75-yard touchdown guy anymore.
Unfortunately, when he was at his most effective, he was also at his most annoying. But now it seems like he has matured into whatever player that old school football guys want, and that he's quiet. He's not making any problem. He's not making any trouble. He's not complaining in media. He's not kicking nets. He's not getting into physical altercations on the field, but he's also not catching touchdowns. So give me the antics with the big plays. If you can't have one without the other, someone needs to come out there and prod Odell until he starts acting silly again, because when he starts acting silly, he makes silly plays, because that's what you really need. And to your point, I was making the same point, but you made it better than me. You don't have to do anything complicated. That's the point of having a great player. You've been to a high school football game or a high school basketball game. They run the Bel Air offense. Get out the way. This kid's better than the other kid. He's better than all the other kids. Get him the ball as quick as possible, and the rest of you bums move. So, I don't understand how they can't run those things. And maybe Odell, maybe he can't do that stuff anymore, but he can do something. And that offense is so run-heavy. The one thing you need, because they're going to load the box, the one thing you need is the receiver who you can't leave in man coverage. That's Odell Beckham. How come he's not balling out?
Follow-up, though.
It doesn't make sense.
How come nobody wants him? Because you would assume that a trade partner would be out there if if all these things are being shown and he's just not getting the ball. So I know he's a high price, but if he's still that good.
Yeah. No, my guess is that people would take him, but the Browns don't want to trade him for what his price is now. So I talked to Tannenbaum this morning, and he said he thought that, I don't care, Alabaster, I'm talking. And Tannenbaum said that he thought that Odell
talent
was worth
interjection.
The third round. He said he was worth a third-round pick at this point. And if that's true, then no. What is a third-round pick going to do for a team that wants to win now?
A third-round wide receiver from last year could probably put up the same exact numbers that Odell's doing right now.
But it's not last year. If you could get a healthy tackle, maybe I'd consider it. A healthy top-of-the-league tackle, I'd consider it. If you could get – you know what they need? They need to trade Odell Beckham for a sorcerer that can make everyone healthy again, because that's what they really need. They have too many injuries on their offense. They need somebody to come in and make them all healthy.
Again, that is
if they were willing to pay more of his salary, I bet you they could get a better draft.
That's really poor use of not just Odell Beckham, but also poor use of a sorcerer. But please, producer.
Should the Chiefs trade for Odell?
No, don't. That exacerbates their problem. They have Josh Gordon. They have Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, they tried Le'Veon Bell.
We've
been down this road before with the Chiefs.
Is this 2015?
Yeah, but they'd be the Brooklyn Nets at that point, and I want to see it. Yeah, they should.
Mecole Hardman. My point is, they do not need another receiver. If they could trade for a cornerback,
debatable,
or a safety. If they could get a safety so that they can stop putting poor Daniel Sorensen out there in no-win situations where he clearly, I don't know what his 40 time is, but it looks as if it's in the 4.6 range, and they got him out there trying to run with John Ross, who runs a 4.1. That's a problem. It's not fair what you're doing to that man. So if they could trade for someone who would be more comfortable in that situation, maybe, but they don't need Odell unless he can play safety.
I think we need this to happen. How many hours do we have left in this trade deadline? Can we push this and see if anybody is listening? What does the little number say with the red dot underneath? How many people are watching?
Green Bay was the suggestion that was made this morning that I thought was like a star power pick and also would be fun. I mean, Devontae Adams with Odell, with Aaron Rodgers, John Wick back there throwing it around.
And then Odell's there with Jordan Love next year.
and
that's going to be great for
they
him.
all leave. Literally everyone you mentioned could not be in the team next year.
All right, Alabaster, what you got?
Daniel Sorensen ran a 4.67. He's probably lost a step since then.
Ooh.
Wow.
Man, I nailed that.
So,
he's not running
undertones.
4.67 anymore.
Daniel Sorensen at his peak
You smelled
was
it
as
too.
fast as I was at my peak. Nice.
Oh, here
Sneaky
we go.
fast.
Just because when Pablo is not here, we do not have to crowbar our own accomplishments into the show.
Nope,
Izzy, do not
that's
do
fine.
that. And,
You don't
and
have to follow up. I just threw it out there.
But I want people to know that you said 4.67 like that's something to be proud of. Next topic.
It did. You see me playing in the NFL? I'm proud of that.
Wait, Izzy, did you say you could run a 4.67? Is that what I missed in this?
In my prime, I said I could run a 4.67.
Okay, we'll put it on the poll on Twitter. Our next topic. Are you Marcus Smart calling out Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown?
All right. I feel like Izzy, we'll start with you on this one. I want to back cleanup.
Well, do we have sound here? Because if we don't, I can just tell you what he said. He said, "Pass the damn ball." Like, just
every team knows we're trying
pass
to go
the
to
damn
Jayson
ball,
and Jaylen.
guys.
And every team is programmed and studied to stop Jayson and Jaylen. And I think everybody's scouting report is make those guys try to pass the ball. They don't want to pass the ball.
Shout out to that color block hoodie. That looks pretty dope. Not that we are not allowed to pat ourselves on the back and shout out our own accomplishments here today, Domonique. But I've been saying this forever. Tatum, and more so Tatum than Brown. I know Brown has less assists or whatever, but Jayson Tatum as your number one scoring option, as the Kobe 2.0 or the Kobe East Coast of the Boston Celtics. That guy is an immensely talented scorer, ridiculous. The body type is ideal for what he's doing. He doesn't make enough people around him better, period. And the thing about following in Kobe, he's a Kobe product and really wants to be that type of Mamba mentality guy. Kobe played like crazy on defense. Kobe actually got other people involved. If you look at his assist numbers, they're higher than Jayson Tatum's assist numbers. And while I do blame those two guys for having that sort of tunnel vision, I also kind of blame the combination of Brad Stevens and their current coach Ime Udoka for just not creating an offense that lends itself to more of that stuff. And I think Jacoby can really speak to this a lot because, you love the NBA and know probably the Boston Celtics as much as better than I do.
Before Jacoby goes,
Bro, I thought you were hitting
like
cleanup. That's not how cleanup works.
No.
Okay.
This is in between.
And he talked to me too. Wow,
it's a skip pass. It's a skip pass because I had to jump in because I was afraid that you were going to do the same thing that Izzy just did, is break down the analysis. I want to know how you feel about Marcus Smart talking trash about his players. I don't care about the scheme of the offense. The man just grabbed a microphone and threw the two best players on his team under the bus. So I was just making sure that you knew the assignment because clearly Izzy does not respect the assignment.
So
I ran backward.
You can run your mouth when you put the ball into the basket. I think he's averaging just under 9 points a game right now. You can call out your teammates when you by scoring a lot and proving that you deserve the ball more, because he has not had an offensive season up to his pretty low bar up to this point. But I also want everyone to remember what they did last year. This Celtics team was a disaster last year. There was COVID problems, but they really didn't perform anywhere near expectations. So Brad Stevens is out, except still getting paid to be the president. And then you bring in Ime Udoka, and I'm thinking, fresh slate. They've got a good roster. They're bringing Al Horford back. We've got Dennis Schroeder in there. Nothing has changed. I'm not going to overreact to 7 games. Oh, wait, I'm totally going to overreact to 7 games. They are not playing well. Tatum and Brown seem redundant as 2 superstars, max players on your team. They just sort of need to do something brand new, which I thought they accomplished, but clearly they did not after watching these 7 games.
I said about a minute ago that well, yeah, exactly. I said about a minute ago that, like, Jacoby knows the Celtics, might know the Celtics more than me. I was wrong. He doesn't. Because Marcus Smart can say whatever he wants, man. Marcus Smart is the engine that makes all this go. All those things that Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum don't do, Marcus Smart has to do all that stuff. Otherwise, this team doesn't work. And he has been doing it. And Marcus Smart just got called out by Mr. GM Brad Stevens the other day. Says, hey, you got to do what makes you who you are. When you watch your legacy footage at the end of the year, at the end of your career, what are those plays going to be? That's what you need to do. And he's like, I can't do none of that without the ball sometimes. Like, if I'm standing in the corner, I can't be the great cutter, the guy who does all these things. And so, yeah, I'm totally okay with Marcus Smart saying that. Somebody had to say it. If Kobe Bryant had a 25, 26-point scorer next to him like Jayson Tatum has in Jaylen Brown, that would be a dominant team. This team is struggling. Why? You got to put it on the 2 stars.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that is what Jacoby did to my man Marcus Smart is not fair. You said that he has to score more. He has to score more points to be able to criticize them. His entire criticism is he's not as a part of the offense in order to score those points. So, like, it's hard for him to first score more points to then tell them after he starts scoring more points, then say, I got to score more points, guys. It's not fair to him. But also to undercut the point that you were making, like, isn't that kind of Marcus Smart's role? I was who was I listening to earlier? I think it was Perk who was talking about how Udonis Haslem down in Miami, like Udonis Haslem don't score points. He don't get minutes at this point, but he has done what it takes to get the reputation to be able to speak about these things. So I think that I understand the criticism that you shouldn't have to go public with something like that. But my guess is the reason why he's going public is because he's already gone private. Like, he's not a rookie. He knows how this business works. And he knows that you shouldn't go public with these things unless you feel like it's a last resort. So I guess I'm extending Marcus Smart, which may not be the right thing to do, but I'm extending him the benefit of the doubt and saying that maybe he's just in panic mode and he's pressing every button he can.
Well, I think the Team USA stuff was kind of telling for Jayson Tatum, right? You surround him with, the top talent in the world, and he kind of shrinks and disappears. Like, he wasn't the guy that you thought he would be, even though if you look at him during an NBA season, you put him on par with all those guys that were on top of that team in terms of scorers and everything else. And so, and then it doesn't seem to make the players around him better. And this season, again, seems to be kind of telling. I feel like Jaylen Brown, I feel like I'm harder on Tatum than Brown. I feel like Jaylen Brown wants to be that complimentary guy, the guy that maybe can sort of get teammates involved, but it feels like he's only got one option when, Tatum gives him the ball. It's like, all right, I guess I got to isolate here and go get mine. So, yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I don't think they had a great point guard situation. Like, while those guys are flourishing, you've had, Kyrie Irving, who's, a scoring point guard. You've had Kemba Walker, who, was probably not great in terms of getting everybody involved there. And now you've got Dennis Schroeder, who, again, scoring point guard, not the best facilitator there. So
Peyton Pritchard's mom would like to tweet at you.
All right, Izzy, stop dancing around it. Are you saying they should trade Tatum or Brown?
Oh, gosh.
Absolutely. While they have, just for fit, right? Just for fit. I'm not saying one of them deserves to get kicked out of town, but just for fit, yeah, they should probably trade one of them.
I agree. All right, let me pick that up. This is a bigger picture thing for me. Is I want my 2 superstars to be complementary pieces. I'm not sure these 2 are. It's kind of like a Dame CJ thing. Like, both excellent players, but we should probably just do a swap right now. Let's just swap Tatum and Dame right now and fix both teams, because both teams played poorly last night. But it's like, I want my 2 superstars to complement each other, not necessarily be redundant. Well, I understand that Brown and Tatum are different players. One plays defense, but I do think that this core is not working right now, especially with the effort they showed last year.
I don't understand what this. So are we supposed to talk about Bill Simmons now? I don't get it. He's sad.
He's just sad because the Celtics are bad.
No. He bought he's rich. Okay, there's only so sad you can be when you're that rich.
Wipe your tears with money.
Yeah.
So here's my question, real quick. What is the fit though? Like, do you go and get a bunch of pull an Allen Iverson 76ers team and just get a bunch of rebounders and defenders around Jayson Tatum? Do you need, a bunch of scorers or a bunch of shooters? You're probably not talking about a great defensive team in that situation. Like, what is the fit to a guy that seems to just, want to score?
I think they need more in the front court than Time Lord and the end of career Al Horford. I think that's really what it is, because they have Pritchard, Schroeder, Smart, who can bring the ball up and start an offense, and they've got Brown and Tatum that can score and slash and create for themselves. Maybe not so much for other people, as Mr. Smart pointed out, but I just think that I do like Robert Williams, Time Lord, but he's more of like a defensive rim protector, lob catcher. And then they're just not getting too much from Horford. So really that 4-5 spot is what I think they need to improve on and make a move.
Man, you came here with real analysis. You not know what show you're on? You don't get deep like that.
Listen, at least I don't interrupt the producer when they're trying to talk. Jeez.
I mean, I'm so sick of the producers coming here slapping his little tiny hand on the thing. Like, you're not the star of this show. You're not even on camera.
How big is that piece of paper? So I really want to know how big that piece of paper is. And how big is that cutout of Izzy? Oh, okay, here we go.
Yo.
I was like, they must have a life-size cutout of shirtless Izzy around the office.
Don't you?
You don't?
Hold on. I do. I keep
Damn it, the delay.
cutout of Izzy.
There we go.
I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad with the jokes. It's a 1 second delay on my side.
Oh, that's incredible.
Seriously, ever since my little scooter accident, my gym days have been slacking, man. That picture right now is motivation more than anything.
All right, what's next? Again, Izzy's talking about his own life. We don't care.
They showed me on the screen. What am I supposed to do? Talk about
Just
somebody
drink
else?
it in like the rest of us.
All right, guys, it's time to play a game. And that game is Whodunnit. We give you a quote.
I love the new Whodunnit sign.
You guys tell us Whodunnit. First quote. It says more, I think, when you're going through something and bleep is kind of hitting the fan. To me, the real ones, they can keep on trucking. Me personally, I love those opportunities. And your choices are A, James Harden, B, Devin Booker, C, Damian Lillard, or D, Ben Simmons.
That
was officially a paraphrase, by the way.
Domonique Foxworth, every time the producer wants to talk on this show. That's what that is right there. He just wants to keep on trucking through it. Every time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust the producers. They don't know what's interesting. I do. I think we can cross out Ben Simmons because
I was going to say, if he said something, yeah, we'd know.
No way he would say something like that. Damian Lillard's going through something right now. I feel like this is not a James Harden quote, so I'm leaning Lillard. What do you guys probably already know.
Yeah, I know
I actually don't know. Okay.
I got Lillard. And it might not even be a quote. It might even be a rap lyric. Who knows? Even though it doesn't really rhyme.
Yeah, it doesn't rhyme. I mean.
Well, this was actually a much longer monologue that was really taught me a lot about life and adversity. It was like everything's great when it's going well and people on TV talking how good about yourself, but really when things are hard, it's a true test of your character and blah blah blah. I'm going to stay in Portland forever. In the back of my mind, I'm like, is he meaning this or is he saying this? Because Portland does not look good. Portland looks broken, and my question is, does he mean this, or does he just like the sound of it coming out of his mouth?
I think
it's the right thing to say for sure.
It says more when you're going through something. It is kind of hitting the fan, and you're struggling, and everybody got something to say. To me, the real ones can, they can keep on trucking, and keep on going and still find a way to get the job done. And me personally, I love when those opportunity presents itself.
You love.
Does that mean he's not a real one then? Because he is not getting it done. They seem to be struggling. His numbers are down. So what are we talking?
Listen, he loves the opportunity to prove you wrong, Israel Gutierrez. He loves that you're saying that about him right now. He loves all of this. He would never want to start the season 7-1. That's too easy. He would never want to join a super team. That's too easy.
Ones.
Why win basketball games when you can lose basketball games and then win basketball games later?
Duh.
Chestnut check.
What do you think the beginning of the season is for? It's setting up the narrative.
So tremendous take by you, Jacoby. But also what is more impressive is that you understand that there's a reverse of what you are seeing, and you managed to point to Izzy on your first try. Because everyone else, when they try to point to a different box, you go wrong way first. Look at him. Man, this dude
Look
is
at that.
a TV vet.
Hey, let's point at each other. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
We did it! We did
I
it!
kind of pointed at both of you. Good job, guys.
Oh, that hurt.
So
that hurt my head.
whether he meant it or didn't mean it, my initial feeling is of course he means it because I'm looking at his eyes. And then he said, "Keep trucking." Nobody under the age of 60 says
Right?
"keep trucking."
No, you can say it. You can say
something.
it. You can say it. Keep trucking is cultural. Keep trucking is cultural.
Where is "keep trucking" something they said in Oakland? I don't know.
He's
Oakland's
not
a
putting that in
different
one of
place.
his songs, right? Unless it's ironic or something.
What
You're not
rhymes
saying
with
that and
trucking?
really
The
mean
only
it.
thing comes to my mind rhymes with trucking. I can't say on this show right now, but it would be a fire bar. But then he said,
Ducking.
"Me personally." Me personally is a classic lie line. No one's ever told the truth after you combine the me and the personally. You either go me or you would say personally. You go me personally, that's like what had happened was, as far as I'm concerned.
Izzy, I have a question for you.
It is
Izzy.
a little redundant to me
I have
personally.
a question for you, Izzy.
Never
Later
thought
on,
about
he
it.
said he acknowledged that the fans in the city of brotherly love were showing him love by chanting, "We want Lillard," or "We want Dame." Do you think there is a part of his brain that loved that? There's a part of his brain that said,
Of course.
"Put pressure."
The part that
put
works.
pressure
Yeah, whatever
on."
10% that actually works. He loved that.
Yes.
Because it's not only that, these guys want me, even though I'm struggling. It's I happen to be here. We're losing. Hey, you might as well just send me to this place that all these people love me. I'm already here. Was it in Philly? Anyway, I think he absolutely loved that. And I think this game, if they would have won, what do you think? If they would have won and he had a great game, more certain that he stays or less certain that he stays? Because if he has 40 and they blow him out, I think, hey, he's probably going to stay put.
What I want to make clear for the people that didn't, watch League Pass last night, Dom, is they didn't have Ben Simmons, they didn't have Joel Embiid, they didn't have Tobias Harris, and they beat the 76ers. That shouldn't happen.
That's news to me. There was a Monday Night Football game on last night. What do I look like watching basketball? They pay me to talk about football. It's outrageous. 10 toes in Rip City. That's a great.
Can we figure out what? Can somebody tell me what 10 toes down actually means? Because I looked it up and I'm very confused.
It's a surfing term. It's a surfing term.
But what are you when you're 10 toes down? Are you actually surfing? Are you in the sand? And if you're on the board, so the analogy is what? I'm always relaxing or always working?
Definitely not a surfing term. I think it means that you're just down with the city.
It's just like you're rooted. 10 toes down.
Yeah,
It's
there you
like,
go.
I'm
Let's
10
also not
down.
forget that before Ben Simmons did what Ben Simmons did, this is like Russell Wilson. You can understand this, Dom. What Russell Wilson is to Aaron Rodgers, what Dame Lillard is to Ben Simmons. It was like, I'm the one who's asking for a trade out of the Northwest, and then you come and go over the top and make it about you. That's what happened. We were talking about Dame Lillard leaving Portland. That's all we talked about. And then all of a sudden, Ben Simmons became all we talked about, and then Kyrie Irving. But Russell Wilson is to Aaron Rodgers what Dame is to Ben Simmons.
You're a multi.
I just want to clear something up.
It's incredible.
Just want to clear something up because Jacoby just confused the hell out of me. The Sixers did beat the Trailblazers. Okay, the Sixers were without those players that he mentioned, and the Sixers beat the Trailblazers. I believe he said the opposite, which completely blew me away, and I had to actually check the score, but we got it right.
Foolishness.
Those are just
Get outta here
details.
with
Just
that.
details.
Nobody
Stat boy.
tunes in for those details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
Reality? Get out of
who
here,
won the
man.
game,
They
right?
come in and
Please.
get a giggle.
Yeah.
I do have a question, though. This is the last question before we move on. Our last question from me. Do you really want to go to Philly? My opinion of Philly
Whoa.
has gone
TV.
down.
Whoa.
Okay, I'm ready for the heat that comes with this. I'm ready for the heat that comes with it. If you win a championship in Philadelphia, watch out. Beanie Siegel might come get me. Or Meek. Or any of them. I don't know anybody else from Philly. Black
Beans
Thought.
is from Philly? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Beans is from Philly. Broad Street Bully.
I mean, he hasn't been around. Haven't heard him in a while, that's why.
Yeah, he had to go. He had to go do a bid. He had to do a short bid. He's out now. But anyway,
This is how the
And
show
we
is every
talking
time you're on
about
it, Dom.
we talking
This
about
is
where
a very different experience than my last debatable.
every freaking time, I would not show up if I did not get to have a good time. All right, here we go. This is the question. Your goal in professional sports is to win a championship.
Uh-huh.
If you win a championship in Philadelphia, the people in the streets, they riot. That's fine. That happens in
They eat
in
poo.
many cities.
Ask Nick Foles. My answer is ask Nick Foles. Ask Nick
Damn it!
Foles.
I did just undercut you, didn't I, Dom? I was with full delay, and it was the perfect timing too.
The punchline was they eat poo. Never mind. Next topic. Oh goodness.
I mean, it can't be that good of a punchline if you get jumped by like 20 seconds.
Ooh, back on you.
Now you're blaming me because you're a bad teammate. All you had to do was stand in the
nope,
corner,
you're right.
Marcus. Just stand in the corner,
You're right.
Marcus. Jeez.
You're right.
Get out of my way.
I am not Pablo. I did not accept your jump pass.
All right, next quote. I didn't really know what was going on until I got here and I saw the alert on Twitter. I said, "Oh bleep, I'm starting today." And your choices are A, Dwight Howard, B, Andre Drummond, C, Montrezl Harrell, or D, Tyler Hero.
Again, Domonique.
Eliminate D. He didn't start.
This is Domonique when he got to the office today about being undebatable. That's what this is. That's what this is.
100%.
He's like,
What? I'm in the upper left box?
Yeah,
Nobody told me.
Someone tweeted it. At debatable tweeted at me. Well, okay, I guess I'm starting today. Anyway, I'm not gonna do any research for this.
I wish this was a joke, but I literally texted Charlie like an hour before this show. It was like, "Yo, Alabaster, I'm on today." Yep.
Quick, somebody get me a boring office to do the show from.
That's why I'm in a boring office.
I know who this one is.
There you go.
And
okay, don't ruin it.
It's related to the previous topic.
So I didn't really know what was going on till I got here.
Oh,
okay.
And I seen the alert on Twitter. I said, "Oh, I'm starting to."
He definitely looks like I shouldn't have gone out last night. He's got that look. I know that look. He's like, "Ooh, I'm starting today, huh? Okay. Let me get some potassium in my body. Do some stretching."
What if he didn't have his Twitter notifications on? Like, you think he's just like warming up for the games, like sitting on the bench? It's like they announce his name, and you're like, what are you talking about?
Who do you think he has on notifications that alerted him to that? Like the team, Woj, like like Worldwide Wob, like does he have on notifications that alerted him to that?
yeah, that was a mistake that he made right there. You should have said somebody texted you. Because the rule in all sports is you say that you don't read it, you don't listen to it. Not only is he reading and listening, this man got alerts. He got alerts, so he ain't missing nothing. I'm not saying anything funny about Drummond. Yeah.
By the way, who needs Ben Simmons? Drummond had 10, 15, 5, and 5 with no turnovers last night, the first player since Hakeem. I'll put that dude at the point guard. I mean, it's the same as Ben Simmons. He's not shooting from outside the paint. You might as well.
Over the course of the hour, we've had Jayson Tatum as Kobe Bryant, and now I have Andre Drummond as Hakeem Olajuwon. I can't wait to see what's next. I can't wait to see who's next.
You gotta outdo yourself, man. This is outrageous.
Andre
Drummond and Hakeem Olajuwon's name should never be in the same sentence. And I don't even watch basketball, not on Mondays at least.
And how did he get
Remember when Andre Drummond and LaMarcus Aldridge, people were equally as excited about them as like buyout options, and LaMarcus Aldridge can't do that.
I want to see these assists. I want to see these assists. These must be some creative assists. I don't know how this happens.
The 2K assists where 4 dribbles and a layup gets you.
You know those assists. Yeah, those are the home score assists. Those are what he got. It's like some sort of outless pass that leads to 4 dribbles and a foul or something.
It used to be just John Stockton that got those assists. Now it's the entire league. All the scorekeepers are like, well, wait a second. If they're giving that to Stockton, we're giving this to John Crotty over here in Miami.
I feel like
just went with 2 white point guards.
That's pretty impressive. Can you name 2 white corners? If you could do that, you would be my hero.
I mean, there's only one. There's the Seahorn, and that's it.
There's Seahorn, there's half of Cortland Finnegan, and that's it.
Half doesn't count. Half it doesn't count. No, I cannot name 2 white corners.
This is one of the... Don't put it back, because I'm making fun of it. This is one of the sports media tricks that make me the most insane. Is you start comparing people to actual greats that have no reason to be compared to them just because they did it once before too. Like, I mean, LeBron James.
That was a down game for Hakeem.
And so did I. So like, all right, so me and LeBron James equals. Like,
oh no, it's the qualifiers. It's the 100%. Qualifiers you get. It's always just like, this is the first time anyone has ever scored scored 20 points on a Thursday matinee game while wearing home uniforms on the road. And you're like, okay, I get it.
That should be, we need to start a whole new Twitter account just to be our whole bit. Is just make all these ridiculous qualifiers so we can compare the worst possible players to the best possible players.
Hang on a second.
Whoa.
Did Andre Drummond hate the Robin comparison so much, the Batman Robin analogy, that he called himself Alfred instead?
I love this.
Like, is there some?
I love this. I absolutely love this. Don't go up. Don't call yourself Batman or Robin. You are now Alfred. I love this so much.
So you're saying he's downgrading himself from like a superhero sidekick to just the Butler, or you're saying because I'm curious what's wrong with Robin? That's my question.
Stop it. So there's lots wrong with Robin. Alfred is above Robin in the hierarchy as far as I'm concerned.
It's not true.
So he is not. It is absolutely true. Alfred's in all the movies. Robin's not. And Alfred is also never needed to be rescued. Like the whole history of the comic books, like Robin existed only so he could go out in his Speedos and get kidnapped, and then Batman could come save him. Like Robin is an albatross. Robin is a liability. Alfred be keeping the house clean and also keeping the Batcave prepared and inventing stuff and help. Yes, I'd much rather be Alfred than Robin. That is an upgrade.
Well, I don't disagree. Right. I always love the idea of people just keeping expectations low and being humble, and I feel like that's what he's doing in this comparison.
I hate that. That's the worst.
Can I tell you why I have an affinity for Robin? So this terrible tattoo, it was my ex and I. He got an I in Batman colors, and I got a D in Robin colors, and really it just makes me look like I'm a Detroit Tigers fan from another country.
Yeah, you should be wearing like silk basketball shorts, an undershirt, and a do-rag, and be walking through downtown Detroit with that. That's what it looks like.
When I said Robin colors, I just thought green and yellow, but the tattoo artist just said, nope, I'm going with red to yellow to green all the way down. The eye with the blue and orange looks so much better than mine.
I got a real serious question for you. Did all the tattoo artists in Miami retire? Like, I feel like you gotta address this. Like, this needs to be addressed for a number
so
of
technically,
reasons.
I got it in New Orleans, and there really wasn't a whole lot of research done into the tattoo artist. So yeah,
it's not too
one
late.
Of those where it's just like
it's not too late. You can do something about it when you leave the studio.
Eminem
today.
has a D12 tattoo right there, so I think you can just turn it into an.
Probably looks just like this one, right?
A huge D12 fan.
I should become the absolute Eminem stan and just go nuts. Yeah, go from silver to blonde.
Just get Detroit right there.
Yeah.
I love that you shared that. The confidence that it
What do I
takes
do with this
to
one? Should I
share
make
that
this one
in the
Illinois?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. We can do something now.
Detroit
we can do something now.
and
so
Illinois,
both say
two random
something.
city and state.
We can do something here. Give me 20. Yes, Steve, put it together. It's like a full sentence. I know.
It starts with I'd.
Beautiful.
I'd rather not keep talking about this.
You can write Izzy
Or
and
it's
Dom.
like,
Izzy and Domonique is what you can do. So next time you're on the show, you can boom.
Isn't it like the id, ego, super ego? Like, you're just all id.
Yeah.
That's you. You're
That's
all
it.
id.
That's
It's
it.
like a
All ego.
Freudian reference.
Who happens to love the
let's get
Detroit
outta here.
Tigers.
Let's get out of here quickly because Izzy has embarrassed himself and he wants this no longer to be a topic. What else we got?
At least tattoos aren't forever.
Yeah. Especially in New Orleans. In New Orleans, when you don't do any research and get tattoos, yeah, sure, that's a great idea. Oh, great idea.
All right, we got another game, guys.
Hurricane.
If then we give you a statement, you finish it.
I don't like your attitude today, Alabaster.
If we get some new music, this segment will be better.
First one. If the Braves
Bring some
lose
energy.
tonight, then blank.
Oh, the cheaters
Has
might
this
win.
been the entire World Series breakdown for us? Are the Braves gonna choke? Are they gonna avoid choking? Like, those are the only two things that we've talked about in the World Series. It didn't even matter that Houston's on the other side.
But we don't want to see Houston win. No one outside of Houston wants to see Houston win. It's just, I mean, come on. After the cheating, oh no, Dom.
I kind of do.
Really?
If for no other reason, I know way more names on the Houston Astros, and I refuse to have an anonymous World Series winner. Like, I'm a fan of baseball. I don't hate baseball, but some of these teams just are hard to watch. And, it's not that I dislike the Atlanta Braves. I just don't know them that well.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like, and this is I'm not in baseball, but from everything that I've heard about this, is like everyone in baseball was doing the things that the Astros were doing. And now they all have pushed the Astros out there to take the blame, and they're all hiding. So like that combined with Dusty Baker being the manager, like I'd be cool with Houston winning. Like it kind of would make me happy. I'm not mad if the Braves
If they
win.
come back from down 3-1, yes.
Okay.
Like they are one of the most intriguing, like great teams of all time. Like they won with cheating, they won without cheating. They made you like them, they made you hate them. Like they're pretty interesting overall.
You know what? I'm kind of getting sold because I would rather see the cheat than the chop win the World Series.
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh,
Well
great
played.
call.
Yeah, I don't need to see that anymore. When are they gonna stop doing that?
I know.
What's
It's
the
like,
deal?
come on, guys. It's like the Washington football team. It's like it's gonna happen eventually. Let's just do it. All right, let's just stop.
Like I don't understand who they're afraid of like upsetting. Like I feel like like if someone is enough a fan of your team to hold on to this ridiculous gesture, then I promise you, if you say please stop doing it, they're not gonna stop buying stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't
no.
stop doing it, but at least you like save the face of saying like, oh no, we are against that. These morons keep doing it, that's on them. But we stand
Right.
against like trying to profit off of this ridiculous gesture. But whatever.
Certain
If
things.
they sort of rule it out and people in the stands continue to do it, which you know they will, like it's just ripe for a bunch of fights in that stadium. Like you can't tell the fans what they can and can't do. You cannot encourage it, which they for a time there they didn't, but the fans are going to do it.
Don't they have like a drum?
Oh, you can get them
Encourage it with,
stopped.
like, a-
Oh, you can definitely
They
get
do,
them to
yeah.
stop. You can definitely get them stopped. This is like the Washington football team's name. This is like Chief Wahoo in Cleveland. It's inevitably going to stop, so why not just stop it now instead of just like having the embarrassment of having it go on for another 10 years?
Well, it's not like the fans in Washington were chanting out the team's name. It's just what they said to refer them to. Like in these games, these fans aren't going to stop doing that. If the Braves say please don't do it, you're going to get a handful of fans that say, you know what, we're going to get drunk and do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my confusion with it is like you normally go where the money is. That's what the owners of teams normally do. Teams in general. I'm confused that they believe the money is with continuing to do the chat. Like I feel like you at least none of it.
There's a
makes
lot of
sense
money
to
in a
me.
rebrand.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Is like that seems like the smart political thing to do, and also like the right thing to do. Put that aside, and you're not going to lose fans. I think it's just like an ego thing. It's and that's what the Dan
100%.
Snyder stuff was all about too. Was like, nah, this is mine. I can do with it what I want, even though it actually is not yours. Like the culture that you are stealing from is not yours. This show is
And it's not going to go anywhere until the commissioner decides that he's not going to defend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If they
but the
have the
commissioner
commissioner out there
doesn't-
defending it, then they're just going to be like, all right, let's just keep
And
it
the
going.
commissioner in most sports, the commissioner is beholden to the owners, and so until the rest of the owners or the Braves owner decide that this is no longer how they want to represent their league, then they're going to keep going, and they keep talking about how they want the game to appeal to younger and more diverse groups. You know who is not a fan of this type of stuff? Younger and more diverse people. So how about you don't have 6-hour games that are sprinkled in with gestures of insensitivity? I don't know.
Speaking of which,
Just a guess.
if the Braves lose tonight, then there will be a Game 7, right? How
job.
much of Game 7 are you telling yourself I'm going to actually watch? Because
I mean,
like in
Game
every other
7's
sport, even in hockey, I'm sitting there like, all right, I'll check out this Game 7. And if it keeps me intrigued, I'm going to stay here the whole time. Basketball, of course, I'm watching the whole thing. Baseball, I feel like I'm checking in every 20 minutes or so.
It's like once it turns into like a 6-run lead, I'm out. You know, and then I keep an eye on
then
the
you're
score.
done.
For me, if it's like a 1-1 game and pitchers are going deep into the 7th, then I'm hooked. But if it's back and forth and 3 runs, 4 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, like a slugfest, then I'm in. But a couple of these games, the World Series have been like, well, there's a 5-run lead. I guess I'm gonna watch League Pass now.
Yeah, I actually do enjoy playoff baseball, which you would not be able to tell if you looked at my TV watching habits this year, because I haven't watched a lot of it. But Game 7, you have to tune into a Game 7, and hopefully it's a good and compelling game that ends before the next day, because that's also.
Here's my final answer for this.
old.
Fill in the blank. If the Braves lose tonight, then I'm going to go get like a 24-inch TV and make it a second screen setup in my living room just to put that TV on Game 7. And then I'll watch something else on the big
That's
screen.
so sweet. I didn't give
You're
you
welcome,
a then,
MLB.
and I'm not going to, because Alabaster has gotten on my nerves today.
Okay.
Energy. It's just
Last
look at
if
him.
then,
See, hear it?
Dominique.
Oh my gosh, you got to bring some energy. You're like you're not happy to be here.
If Cincinnati isn't in the top 4 of the first CFP rankings, then blank.
Can somebody check on him? I think you need a mental health day today.
Yeah, if Cincinnati isn't in the top 4 of the first CFP rankings, then who cares? They're not going to be there at the end of the year. Like, yeah, I'm fine. Cool. Give it to them now because you're not going to give it to them later.
That part.
So
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
That's a great
Cincinnati.
strategy.
You're having a great season, but however, when it gets down to playoff time, I want to see good games, and y'all not gonna give us one of them.
That's
why not?
I like this idea. I like the idea of like we all know where we're gonna end up, so let's just give it to them now, allow them to be replaced later. And they love the drama and the controversy. If it makes too much sense, then they're not involved. So I'd say yes, put them in, have us talk about it for a couple days, and then eventually have them be replaced later by Michigan State or whatever.
I know that these are like made for TV events, right? These rankings unveiling. But wouldn't it be super dramatic if you didn't have any all season long and you just unveil them right after whatever conference championships or whatever, and it's like, wow, like what if Cincinnati was in there? Like what if the committee really did think that they belong in the Final Four? You're not even gonna know if they were close or if they were in, if they were far out until the last weekend. Like the stakes you could create whatever stakes you want because you don't know who's going to be in that top 4. Like, I think that's the way to go. Cancel all these first few rankings. Just wait till the end.
You can watch the rankings exclusively on ESPN this evening. So enjoy that. I think it's 8 o'clock.
But since these are the rules, you should watch. Yes.
Exclusively on ESPN every Tuesday for the rest of the college football season. And we are here. It's our duty to let you know that it is exciting, it is important, and it is meaningful to the entire country, if not the world, if not the universe.
We can find other programming to put in there.
No, we can't. We cannot. And also, like, I understand the argument you're trying to make, but having it every week doesn't make it not a surprise at the end of the season. Like,
yeah, it does.
We still no. They have games.
If you have the top 4 and the top 4 never lose again, then they're going to stay the top 4.
But
false.
You know that. Like,
false.
Not always
false.
the case.
100% false.
Cincinnati
will not lose for the rest of the season, and we all agree that Cincinnati will not be in the top 4. There will be suspense.
We are in agreement now. But what if we didn't know until the end? And then say, hey, maybe this is the year the committee says we got to put this team in, and you won't know until the final ranking.
We still won't know. It's a great skill is to admit that you was wrong. It's sometimes my bad. Just throw it out there because we still won't know. We still won't know.
You know what they can put in that slot on Tuesdays? A drama series about poker players. I know it sounds crazy, but I think it could work.
I watched that. Mark Madsen. Big shout to Mark Madsen. God, I'm old enough to remember that. What was it called?
Oh, man. That is...
Mark Madsen.
God,
I remember that.
So now not only am I taking away good programming, but I'm mocking old programming.
Playmakers was so good that they made us stop showing Playmakers. And we're like, guys, don't worry. I think I think Brian Koppelman might have been involved. We've got the show for you. It's called Blank, starring Mark Madsen.
I loved poker and I never watched.
Oh, I watched every episode.
Stump the Schwab.
Every episode.
That's great programming.
Oh, wow. You're going to make me cry now.
Right, now I got to take my time and find this.
All right, guys.
Topic.
We have a couple bonus topics. The first one.
Sound sad.
We gotta recap Izzy today because he embraced debatable. Here's some of his hot takes. Izzy can run a 4.67 40 in his prime. Said that Mahomes isn't that good.
It was a call
Thinks
tilt.
the Celtics should trade Tatum or Brown. Said that Damian Lillard isn't a real one.
Whoa, I feel like Damian Lillard said that.
And he won't watch Game 7 of the World Series unless he gets a second television that is tiny.
That's amazing.
Not really true. I said I would check in every 20 minutes unless I get the tiny television, which you should appreciate, tiny hands.
That's great work.
Good day.
And he said he was going to buy a television. Oh, God. The
ESPN.
Celtics should trade Tatum Brown. I like that. You know what? I agree with most of these except for the Dame Lillard one. He's a real one.
Well, no. To be clear, I was misquoted. I said that it sounded like Damian Lillard was saying he's not a real one. I was not calling Damian Lillard a fake one.
Don't get scared. Don't get scared now.
One thing you didn't do is disrespect the entire city of Philadelphia. So, listen, as far as I'm concerned, this is all golden.
we didn't even make what didn't even make it on there was the tattoo, which is not a take, but it was just so much fun. And then he just took a shot at ESPN's programming that I'm sure they paid lots of money to be able to be the exclusive. Yeah, to be able to be the exclusive.
Those people don't work there anymore. Those people don't work here anymore anyway. I think I'm good.
This man, a tour de force. What a day, Izzy. What a
show.
Great work by you.
No wonder
Great
I'm so
work,
damn
Izzy.
tired. I'm sweating over here.
This is amazing.
All right, we have a
Thanks
tweet.
for the setups,
also have a
guys.
tweet from Carlos Gomez who tweeted, Domonique Foxworth looks like he's about to teach the quadratic formula to his Zoom class on Debatable.
Yes. Yep.
It's a very monochrome look you've got there. You know.
It was quite the challenge. Like, can you be that entertaining surrounded by such boredom? And you did it. You did it.
Izzy, great pickup there. That's what Brown and Tatum need to do for Marcus Smart. You know what I mean? That's what they need to do for Marcus Smart. Is sell your teammates, make them better, put them in positions to be great. Great job by you.
That's my strategy, was to be in a very boring setting. It makes everything I say look and sound more interesting in comparison. It's a move.
Since Izzy called me out on EPA earlier, I'm going A squared plus B squared equals C squared? No?
No.
Oh, that's
No, that's not the quadratic formula.
Because you know it so well, Izzy. What is it?
It's something else.
That was his best take. Is he wrong? Do you disagree with him? Is he wrong?
I do not.
No.
I don't know. I question math these days. I don't know if it's
The
real.
Pythagorean theorem is where I think I was.
That's what it was. Yes.
All right, we have another tweet. This one is from Long Live the Queen,
Give me
who
a chance
said,
to say it. Okay, fine.
did Domonique dress like a nerd today because he's in the box Pablo's usually in?
Wow.
That's a good one.
Everyone's getting
But
shots.
the problem with Pablo is, like, I guess technically he fits the nerd category, but he also doesn't know anything. It's weird. It's such a weird dynamic that he pulled off. Is like he's convinced.
So you
us
just
all that
know
he's
the
a
big
nerd.
words, but don't actually
Yeah.
know anything past
It's
that.
all
So he just
smoke and
studied the
mirrors.
dictionary at Harvard. Just the
Why is
dictionary.
Pablo catching so many strays?
I
Pablo,
feel like
love
he
you very
knows the
much when you're
quadratic
watching.
formula.
He does.
Why do you think we don't know the quadratic formula? We're just making jokes. We obviously know it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just funnier
You
to not
obviously know that. Domonique is definitely off camera Googling the quadratic formula right now.
I don't
So
need to
just
Google it. I
slightly
got it.
off camera.
I got it tattooed on my forearm. I just can't get to it right now. It's
I cubed
I
plus
have it
D
in
cubed
Robert's colors.
equals debatable.
That's how I graduated high school. Just
Yeah.
got them tattoos with the
X
answers everywhere.
we have
minus
we have one more
plus or
tweet.
minus square root
This
of
one is,
b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a.
Ooh, what body part is that on? What's this next topic?
Last tweet
It
we have
goes
is from
all the way
Javi,
around.
who said, debatable, wow. Domonique Foxworth really broke Alabaster. Laughing, crying, laughing, crying, laughing, crying. It was a solid run. We'll miss you on the show, Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Took
Oh, I'm
one down.
Pikachu.
He's a coach killer. Coach killer, Domonique.
I'm surprised I'm back after yesterday, honestly. I was all over the place yesterday. You guys weren't here, and because this is Jacoby's first show ever, he doesn't know what it's like.
You know, some of us watch the show when we're not on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
I watch the
That's
show
work.
every single day.
So, like, it's like if I worked at McDonald's and on my day off, I went to McDonald's to get more McDonald's.
If you're on a road
No.
trip, it's a pretty good option.
I'm not. I get enough debatable when I'm debating the Bulls. So when it's not
Congratulations,
debatable
producers.
time-
He said your show's going to be as successful as McDonald's, and I believe it's because of me.
And the final topic is
Did you
a
see that 40
shocking
time?
44% of people think that Izzy actually could have run a 4.67 in his prime.
Wait a second.
That's a win. Izzy, take that as a win.
55.3 do not know me.
Take that as a win.
They've never
44% 's a
seen me in
lot.
my athletic prime.
44% is a
Don't
lot.
I'll take that, though.
That's
Do
also
Don't be
those
offended.
55% think I ran faster?
Because
If that's the
Nicely
case, I'm
done.
fine with it.
boom. And also,
Because personally, I believe I could run a 4.60.
that was
great
500,000 votes. 500,000 votes. So just think about that.
I wish.
Is that what it was?
220,000 people think you can run a 4.67 40.
That is awesome. Well, in my
I
prime,
wish-
which, you know,
I
I
wish
just
we had enough
exited, I
time
believe, a year and a half ago.
to break out the Izzy hot takes of the day because you just made so many more. Like
They're
this
so good.
was the-
You guys should talk about them on
Great job,
tomorrow's
Izzy.
show.
Great job, Izzy.
Phenomenal. What a day by you. What a great day. Now you can turn around and go walk into that beach.
We got to get that piece of paper for him to hold up like Wilt.
7 hot takes.
Never forget this. Takes.
Never forget this day. All right. I got some expenses to do in my office. Numbers to run.
You don't have an office.
Boring.
I'm in this somebody's office.
Too, bro. You don't have an office.